Okay, y'all. I also am going to speak on living on my Uranus line because it's the other line that I have running through Denver, Colorado, where I've been raised my whole life. Um, Living on your Uranus line. Interesting. I think Uranus is like, it's one of the more interesting places. It's one of the more interesting planets in astrology. That's what it's about. It's about being interesting. Um, it's all about innovation. I think of just straight electricity because we're like living in the age of Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. And it's like, what do we have now? Friggin', we came up with electricity and now we have the internet and we're like learning so much about the electric universe theory, just the interconnectedness of how quickly things can travel using electricity. Like, that's very Aquarius. It's very progressive. It's also very weird, right? It's like it's almost like a little uncomfortable because it's so weird. um and it's just kind of ahead of its time, which is a stupid expression because if something is here, then it's not ahead of its time. It's on time, but it's usually the first one to do things, right? Which if you're a person who can feel that, like being the first to do something, you're gonna get a lot of hate because people are gonna be like, you can't do that. That's not gonna work. And it's just kind of it comes with backlash because it is unique. So it's also like very eccentric, it's very sporadic, and it's aloof, it's distant. It's very like, it's more interested in its ideas than it is with people or people liking their ideas or people thinking like, it's not like as relational, which is super interesting. There's this juxtaposition with Aquarius and with Uranus where it's like they say that it's the house of friends because it's like really good at networking. If you think about electricity, it's like we've quite literally developed ways to network with each other using Facebook and Instagram and all of that. But what has that also done is like separated us from our face-to-face interactions. So there's this interesting juxtaposition where it's like these people who have Aquarius energy are like really human rights and like progressive because it's like, well, duh, like we'll all be better if everyone is doing well. But it's coming from more of like a mental place than like a feeling place of like, I really want to hang out. Like, I really want to be best friends with you and just hang out. That's not Aquarius. So, yeah, I hope I've explained that energy well. So then living on a Uranus line, I have Uranus on my midheaven in Denver. Well, it's like a couple 100 miles away, like 180 miles away or something like that, which is pretty close. And I have definitely borne that identity for sure. I'm out here playing with tuning forks and like trying to tell my massage clients, like, do you want to get a tuning session? And they're like, what the hell is that? And then I'm like, let me tell you, I will introduce this subject to you because it's very innovative. But so I've kind of just had a definite oddball persona. And I find it interesting that the inner workings of life place you like the fact that I was born and raised here, and naturally in my birth chart Uranus touches like everything. I'm like, it touches my Mercury, it touches my ascendant, it touches my sun, it touches my Venus, it touches everything. It touches my midheaven. Like, I am a Uranus person. And so, like, I think I naturally have enough of that energy that, like, living here, it's almost just been a little bit too much. I have, like, learned so much. I am a freaking nerd to the core. Research is my best friend. Um, and I have so many ideas of how to implement it, but I think it's been a little bit difficult to implement. Like, I will say this, if someone has Uranus on their ascendant or like touching their ascendant or their Mercury, which is obviously me, like sometimes you can be one of the smartest people in the room, but people won't think that you're smart because there is so many ideas happening rapidly in your head that to get them out at the pace that your mouth can speak, like it'll get jumbled and it'll come across like not intelligent, which is so interesting and ironic. And so I feel like that's been the effect of me living here is like I've had so many ideas that it's like people almost have just seen me as like really scattered and unreliable because I'm like, well, we could do this and we could do this and we could do this and we could do this. And I don't get a lot of shit done. People who watch my YouTube channel probably know that. Like, I have a difficult time with structure, with being grounded, with those things living here. And I'll speak on this more in another video because I'm about to live on some different lines that will be very supportive for that, and I'm really excited. But, you know, I think if you were to come visit a place like this, it would be ideal. Like, if you're like a creative person or you just need some inspiration, like, I live on inspiration here. It's like I am uncovering new ideas and almost like hungry to a core for like just new knowledge and new ways of doing things, which is great, but too much of anything is a bad thing. And it's like, that's why I love astrology. I'll say it again. I've said it 1,000 times. Like, there's always equal and opposite polarities and other aspects to the whole that are valuable. And like Taurus energy is that, like, the beauty of simplicity, the beauty of simple daily routines, like earth, eating healthy food. And so if you're constantly in a place where you're like in your headspace and doing big dreaming, and then it's not going to manifest in the 3D. And we are human beings. Like, we have our higher chakras, which are channeling in those big ideas from the universe, but we also have our lower chakras, which are like just being in our bodies and like really feeling things. And it is my opinion that like balance, I say it so much, it's like one is not better than the other. Just be in your solar plexus, you know, like try and be balanced between the two. So, okay, what else have I experienced living there? People think I'm an oddball. I have a lot of ideas that I've tried to implement. Oh, I've moved a disgusting amount of times. I wouldn't wish it on an enemy. Like, the year of 2021, I moved 11 times. So just about once a month I moved. It's just an unstable energy, you know? It's like, go visit the place, get your inspiration, go meet some exciting people. Oh, that's another thing I've had living here. All my friends are definitely one of a kind. I just seem to draw them out of thin air. It's like a person that is just very unique. Those are pretty much the only people I have affiliated myself with. And like in other places that I've lived, I've noticed that like I can float in more mainstream crowds and be like, feel like I'm being myself, you know? Here, I just seem to attract like one-off relationships. Like, I don't have like a group of friends, and I've never been able to have a group of friends living here. It just seems like the people that I affiliate myself with are so uniquely their own that they like don't run together very well. So that's been like my experience with relationships here. Yeah. It's very Uranus. I think it is a little bit isolating. I've definitely dealt with like a little bit of loneliness of just feeling misunderstood, which is another like Uranus thing. Just again, having those really big ideas that might be like really genius and progressive, but maybe people can't catch on yet. But yeah, I think all in all, I think it's like a really good place to be for visiting. I would want to come back and get this energy because it's exciting and I learn new things. But as far as like living here, maybe it would be good for someone to live here who needs to have more of that energy within themselves. But again, as I said, I just already have so much Uranus energy that I'm like, whew, let me go get some like Jupiter and Moon and like a bit of Saturn. I would not mind a bit of Saturn. Like I'm trying to get some shit done. So yeah, I hope this has helped someone in some way. If you have questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.